Let me show you the African mind in a constructive way. The African mind unifies the spirit, the mind, and the body to understand things. We put things together in a holistic picture to understand, whereas the Europeans, they fragment. They divide the whole to understand. In other words, if I was trying to explain the vitamin C in an orange, I would say the ingredients in the orange, I say vitamin C, I say bioflavonoids, I say calcium, I say magnesium, I say zinc, I say all these nutrients, and you say, well, since I can break that down and fragment it, therefore I have a good understanding. Fragmentation means understanding to the Europeans. True and false are different in the African mind, but true and false are the same and correct in the European way of presenting things. Even in the fairy tales, as I go over them with you, they present true and false as one and the same. That's what the American Indians would call speaking with a forked tongue, or double talking. That means you're presenting a lie and the truth at the same time, and yet they accept it as one. The purpose of thoughts and actions are for ma'at, to bring justice, peace, unity to the person. That's the purpose of the fairy tales, to present ma'at. But the purpose of thoughts in European culture is to control nature, control others, and for power. To dominate, in other words. To dominate and be supreme in their way of thinking. In African mind, thoughts are connected holistically. A spiritual thought is connected to an intellectual thought, is connected to a physical thought, is connected to rhythm, is connected to color. It's all connected holistically. But in the European mind, thoughts are connected by fragmented ideas. Divide and conquer, I believe, is what we usually say. Now, we're looking at the foundation of these fairy tales, the mind, the construction of the mind that created them. Now we're going to go into the true story of the three little pigs. We're going to reveal it and see the dynamic that's played, why we always have these threes all the time in European culture. We're going to understand what the wolf is about, how men are associated with wolf, being a wolf. This is a sexual symbolism. We're going to understand about pigs and what that reveals. We're going to get into the true story of the three pigs and other fairy tales, as they are called. Fairy tale, myth is a fairy tale with Latin and Greek words, and a fairy tale is a myth with English words. This folklore and legends of the people gives a person a plan for living. This is how you program a person. You program the child with the folk tales. It gives them a plan for living, a plan of way to control the behavior. The plan is conscious, which we call male principle, and the plan is subconscious, what we call the female principle. Life's plan is controlled by other people, by circumstances, by nature, and the person. This is what is communicated to us in the folk tales, that nature sometimes can give you obstacles, and society can give you obstacles to overcome. That's part of the life's plan. The plan's objective and the results can be predicted. The plan's objective and results can be predicted. You're free to make the choices in your plan, but you're not free to choose the consequences. You can choose to touch a fire or not touch a fire, but the consequences of touching the fire is getting burnt. You're free to make the choice, but the consequences are out of your control. That's what the fairy tales are communicating to us. Now let's go back and look at the order. This is Bes, a tutelary spirit here. This is 500 BC, carving or painting in the pyramids. Bes, which is the name for a god or a spirit. And this is where we get the fairy tales from, this small person, which some people call fairies because they're very small. And the fairies in Greek mythology are goddess of vengeance. They're part of the triad of the three. Relentlessness, jealousy. These are names. Alecto is relentlessness, and Madnera is jealousy. These are Greek names for these aspects. And Trisiphon, which is the avenger of death. And the fairies represent this energy force field, which they got from our ancestors in Africa. Also, we will find that the eyes repeated over and over again. We have the eye of Ru, the Ujad. The eye is a symbol of, when you find on amulets, meaning the eye of wisdom, your third eye, the special eye, and that's represented by the vagina.